It's like a hump. And the moose in Canada is basically 2,000 pounds of meat on sticks. And that's cherry. And then of course if you have moose, you have to have a squirrel. Or even better, not moose. Moose and not moose. That makes me laugh. And then you have moose and squirrel, you have to have Boris and Natasha. So it's not really an animal thing. It's a Rocky and Bullwinkle thing. Hey! Who's next?
I'll go with it.
Are your kids fans?
A what?
Are your kids fans of the show?
Fans? Not of me.
And are you happily married?
Why? You know my wife's from Sydney, right? You know she's almost 6 feet tall. So she has at least 3 or 4 inches reach on you. Fighting talk, that.
So I just want to jump in just quickly because I was much of a fan as you guys are, but in your early days you were a musician and you actually...
Still am.
Sorry, but you were working as a session musician and touring with bands. What was that? You still are? Excellent. So what sort of, tell us about the stories on the road and the sort of music you're into?
Well, music I'm into has got nothing to do with what I play necessarily, but I played with a lot of bands in Europe and in America. I made a lot of records in Europe and America. Started making records when I was 16, so that would have been 1980. So I started my recording career in 1980, and I'm now playing with a man that I used to play with 35 years ago. So now we're playing a lot of bigger shows out there. So if you look at my Instagram or whatever, you'll see the band I'm attached to. It's kind of fun. Don't you? Yeah. Hey.
Hello.
You look very happy.
I am.
It's
I've been looking
raining.
forward to this for a while.
Oh yeah, it's just New Zealand, it always rains, right? It's like a big version of Seattle.
My question is, you're known for being like the scary British guy on Supernatural, but on Doctor Who, one of the most British shows that there is, you play an American. Did you audition knowing that, or did they ask you to do a funny American accent?
I didn't audition for that. I was asked to do that.
Did they ask you, being like, can you come play an American on our British show?
Have you never seen Moffat's quote? We went all the way to America to get an Englishman to play an American on an English show. But yeah, that was fun. Basically playing James Bond. Where you going? Where you going? Make sure your bum doesn't get wet. Hey.
Hi. So you've been Doctor Who and Supernatural. Are you going to be in Charlotte to complete Super Who Long?
That would be the idea, but I don't know if that's possible. Moffat gets really mad. That's the smart gators. They're like, don't your fans know how I work? It's like I don't just put people in stuff. I write stuff and then I think of who would be good in it. But the right thing hasn't come up for me yet. So I'd love to complete the Super Who Long. Just to have the t-shirt. No other reason. Great show. Hey.
Hi. So my question was... What?
Have you changed your mind? Do you need a moment?
What do you think Crowley's fatal flaw was?
Crowley's what?
Fatal flaw.
He never had a fatal flaw. He killed himself.
What kind of downfall?
There's a lot of things I can say about the show. It's very easy to say because I'm not on it. But truthfully, it's very hard to keep a show on the air 12 years and keep it interesting. And the reason why we're interested in the show, any of you that are interested in the show, is because of the boys. So my theory has always been, we care about the Winchesters. And Crowley and Castiel also care about the Winchesters. They love the Winchesters. And so the audience has always sort of lived vicariously through either Castiel or Crowley's love of the Winchesters. So it's a sort of, we're a conduit for that. And I think getting rid of Crowley was just, they were bored and had nothing better to do. So, you know, it'll be what it is. Apparently they're doing Scooby-Doo now. Sort of a lot of it, but it'll go on as long as we care about what happens to the Winchesters. And that's why the show works. Every time they try to spin off, dies a death. And yeah, I think it's destined to continue for a while at least. You know, they're very good, they're interesting.
Hi. What is your favourite part of being an actor and like about being idol? Like, what is your thoughts on that sort of thing?
About being what?
Idoled.
Idolised?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm idolised. It's a weird thing. I was talking about this recently with friends. I love the job that I have. I love all the jobs that I've had, bar a couple. And it's an incredible thing to get paid to do something you love. It's an amazing thing. I'm pretty good at it, otherwise I probably wouldn't keep getting to do it. But I love it with my whole heart. And I think as an audience, because I'm a fan as well, we tend to gravitate towards things that have passion or are made because they're loved or people care about it. Be it film, music, art, doesn't matter what it is. Dance. If your whole heart is in it, it tends to be an amazingly powerful thing to attach to. And people have always tried to make arts that is copies of other things. So like the original Battlestar Galactica was made into a very poor Star Wars copy, even though the idea behind it was really good. But it took Ron Moore 20, 30 years later to make a better version of it that went back to the original idea. So if you do things with heart and passion and love and kindness and positive intent, it tends to resonate with people. People care about it. And I've been lucky enough to be associated with many projects that I think are like that. So from Firefly to Battlestar to X-Files to all those amazing projects that have been in Supernatural. I think these shows resonate with fans because they have a unifying spirit behind them. What I'm amazed by Supernatural, as I was by Firefly and those other shows, was how the fandom can come in behind it and do things that are bigger than the show. So the thing about Supernatural, which has been incredible to me, is to watch, you know, you're wearing a sweatshirt, which means something to me. But I watch people come in behind the things that we care about. You know, Misha builds schools and hospitals and runs Gishwares and does incredible work. I make fun of him all the time, but he's truly an aspirational human being. And the boys, exactly the same. They always put their money where their mouth is. And we try our best, but what makes it powerful, what makes it huge and bigger than this show, which doesn't have that big an audience, is that you guys come in behind it and make it even bigger. And so I'm proud to be part of that. You know, I've been around a long time, some people recognize me, but I think it's because I'm associated with some really positive things that more people know who I am. Never a day goes by without somebody saying something nice. And if you ever wondered about actors and how to treat them, or celebrities, or it's so easy. If you like what they do, and I mean you really like what they do, then go up to them and say, I like what you do. And if they don't respond positively, tell them that because as somebody who loves what I do, to have somebody say they love what I do is the most amazing feeling. And you know, I remember being asleep on an aeroplane, massive amount of jet lag. I'm in seat 1A at the bulkhead, so there's a wall in front of me. And I woke up and there was 2 young girls who didn't speak English standing in front of me. It was like straight out of The Shining. Sorry. Drool running down my face. They're like, hi, can we take a picture? I'm like, how did they get here? We're flying in an airplane. It's like, oh, okay. But you can say yeah, because maybe that's the only chance somebody has of meeting you. You know what I mean? So if somebody's an ass to you, you can maybe let them off a little, but I've never understood why anybody wouldn't be happy that somebody says, I love what you do. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hi. Firstly, I'd like to say I like what you do. Also, as a musician, I think you're a fantastic drummer, and I wanted to know sort of who your favorite musicians were and what influenced you to start.
What did I start listening to?
Yeah.
I remember, so I was born in '64, so I was really listening to music from probably 1972 onwards. By 1976 there was punk, and so the original early punk bands were amazing to listen to, and it started me off wanting to play. So when I was 12, which should have been 76, I was already playing music, I was already playing drums. And so I started out obviously with like the Stones, the Byrds, the Band, and a lot of black R&B, which is a really interesting mix. Well, all these other kids I knew were listening to heavy metal, which I hated. It didn't sing to me. I mean, now I can go back and listen to a lot of things. It's cool. And then punk came in and I mean, anyone could do it, so I started making records. And then it became a love of all arts that it's derived from passion. So you can hear it, doesn't matter if it's an ABBA song. I mean, listen to SOS by ABBA, great pop song, really good love song. You know, it's no less important than Beethoven or Mozart. You know, it's stuff that's made with heart, shows through. So, it's the same answer.
Hi.
Hi.
So last year we had the pleasure of having Ruth Connick to Christchurch, and she's a very vivacious woman. What was it like having her as your mother?
Who, Ruth?
Yeah.
I love Ruth. Ruth is one of my best friends, and I spent a lot of time with her. I'll be honest, I've never understood how the hell Crowley is supposed to have a mother. Doesn't make any sense at all. Never did. It's Fergus's mother, that's a completely different circumstance, but Crowley having a mother is just like a really odd, lazy piece of writing. But I think we made it work. I think we did everything we could to make it work. So I sort of played it like because Crowley can't have a mother because he's not human. So he doesn't have a longing for a mother either. So what I did was use the stuff at the end of season 8, which is scratching at the surface of Crowley to find a bit of Fergus underneath, I guess. And then in a way, it was always about whoever the meat suit was that was Crowley, which was fascinating to me. So I always sort of used a bit of that. And then the idea of having a mother was something he felt cheated about. Like not having a mother, he felt cheated. Having a mother, but her being useless, he felt cheated about. So he sort of had this weird relationship with her. But that last line that I say about her in the final episode, I wrote. Which was when Rowena's dead. And I was like, oh, funny, I always thought it would have been me that killed her. And Andrew was like, that is so weird. And I'm like, yeah, but it's exactly what it should have been. Because she's not, she's a sort of, she's like a wart or a bunion to him. And yet, you know, the idea is maybe he wants so much more. He doesn't know what he wants, so he doesn't know if he wants a mother, he doesn't know if he wants a family, he doesn't know if he wants to run hell, doesn't know what he wants to do. So ultimately it becomes this great big sort of 2 years of suicide. So I played it that way, because I knew what was coming. I knew they didn't know what to do with the character. So I literally played it as the most pissed off, annoyed guy I could think of. I hope it worked. Because I don't know, I was never able to do soap opera in the context of, she's my mother, she's my sister, she's my mother, you know, it changes every 3 weeks. I kind of have to attach to something to have some feeling about it. And I love Ruth, I love what Ruth did with it. I think she was great. I don't know that she's gone. There's no reason to get rid of her. Just because Lucifer burned her up doesn't mean anything. I know I'm gone, just so you know. It sounded a bit harsh when I was on social media saying I'm not coming back, but that's because Jim, unfortunately, wrote something a bit silly, going, oh, never say never, and right after I just said never. So the reason why I drew a big, big line underneath it was to make sure that people didn't think that this was a game or whatever. I've come to the end of what I can do with it, so I won't be coming back. Who's next?
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering, in your opinion, who's the angstiest pretty boy in Supernatural?
Who's the what?
Who's the angstiest pretty boy in Supernatural?
Do you really want to research that word in the dictionary? Angstiest? Angst-filled?
We'll go with that.
There's no such word as angstiest. Most angst-filled? I don't know. Don't really care. Probably me. It's funny, even though I'm not on the show, my answers are exactly the same for the last 8 years. Still a total ass.
Hi. You played a demon in Medium. Then you played the demon in
I didn't play a demon in Medium. I played a dead serial killer.
Are you? Alright. That guy was very similar.
I'll give you a couple of hours to go do your research.
Sorry.
That's alright. No, what was your question? What does that mean?
What's your acting process for trying to find the evil in characters like this?
You really want an answer to that? You really want an answer to that? Okay, because it's a serious answer. The serious answer is you don't look for the evil in anything. You can't play evil. You can play an alternate ideal, but you have to play what people believe. You have to be somebody that believes something. Evil is in the eye of the beholder. Evil is your opinion, not mine. Do you get my point? So I'm playing what I believe is doing the right thing. Crowley believes that if everyone just listened to him, the place would be a lot better. And they don't. So it drives him crazy. But he killed less people than the Winchesters. Think about it. So, evil is in the eye of the beholder. You can't play evil characters. There was an amazing movie about Hitler in the bunker. Bruno Gans played him. And if you watch that, it's the most startling performance, because it's the first time I'd seen somebody play an impossible character in a way that didn't think it was possible to be played. So it's very hard to do. It's very hard to do, play bad people. Good answer.
Hi, I'd like just thank you for coming down to this really bad weather.
This is New Zealand. I don't get a choice.
I'd like to ask you, if we were living in a supernatural universe, would you be a hunter?
Well,
or would you be king of house still?
no.
So you wouldn't be anything so supernatural?
He needs a translator.
It's a television. It's a television show. I have children and a life. A little busy. Don't have time to be king of hell. The paperwork is terrible. You know, bad middle management job.
Hiya. I love your character in Supernatural, but I love your character in Leverage.
Loved, past tense.
Oh, loved, yeah. I loved your character in Leverage even more, and I was just wanting to know whether you'd go back and do some more, if that ever happened. You got asked?
What, Leverage?
Yeah.
Show's cancelled.
I know, but like, if
Been
they
cancelled
brought
for
it
years.
back, I can only dream, but if they brought it back, would you want to do some more?
I don't know. It's weird. It's not like an unfinished job. It is what it is. I mean, how many people are Firefly fans? Right. You've got a right to be pissed off. That show was stolen. So you only had a few episodes, and it was like, what the hell happened? So there's always this longing for more. But when you have a show that's gone 5 years, it ran its course, you know? You can hear Fonzie and the water skis.
Hi.
Hi.
My question is, have you added any of your old fears into Crowley's fears?
Fears? What fears does Crowley have?
But have you added any?
He's afraid of bees.
Have you added any of your old fears into Crowley's character?
I know what you're saying, but I think a great way to explain acting, or the way I believe acting is living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. Because his life is beyond my scope, my life. So I sort of act as if I was he, what would I feel? Does that make sense?
Hello.
Oh, I haven't been throwing you out there.
No, hopefully not. I'm surprised no one's actually said this yet. But can you say your iconic line, "Hello, boys"?
Did I say it?
Yeah.
You just did.
No, you say it.
Ah. No.
I made a t-shirt that says "Hello, boys."
Ah. I vowed I'd never say it again. What? You just rewind to every episode I've ever said it. I said goodbye, boys. That's more important.
Alright, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm well. Nice try.
Did you and Mark Pellegrino even get up to mischief?
To get up to what? Mischief? Mischief? I was going to say bless you then.
You guys have the same name, so I figured you could use that to your advantage.
I love Mark. Mark's a really cool guy. I worked with him years ago on Without a Trace. And yeah, he's a wonderful actor. So I mean, we did a bunch of episodes where the dialogue was essentially horseshit, but the characters were fun to play. So if you figure through 15, 17, 19, and 21, it was real kind of fun to watch. This sort of game, this dance we were doing, which had nothing to do with the dialogue. It was just this little dance we were doing around each other. So it was a lot of fun to play together. Hi.
Hi. What's your favourite prank that Jared and Jensen have pulled?
On who?
Anyone?
Jared always does stupid stuff. I mean, like really stupid stuff. Like he draws all over my car. He, like, I left my car open one time. So he took 36 bottles of water and placed them around in my car. And then I was driving out into the sunset and I pulled the visor down and 30 bits of chewing gum hit me in the face. Of course I'm driving, so we drive on the other side. It'd be like this for you. For me, they fell out as well. And then I knew he wasn't finished. So I had a deep dig around and I found 2 pounds, about a kilo of salmon bits in my wheel well. So he's a bit of a... But favourite stuff they've done, it's great. I mean, he's just really lucky I didn't blow up his trailer. I was seriously considering it. Fill it full of puppies. Or budgies. Really annoying.